Dear students, when we talk about human rights, the right to food is a human right that is derived from the International Covenant on Economic, Social and Cultural Right and Fundamental Right to be free from hunger. It means this is human right to be free from hunger. So do you think every human being is able enough to avail this human right? We all need to reflect. So here I, Seema Yadav, Assistant Professor, Department of Education, the Bhopal School of Social Sciences, will share what is food and its sources and what are the problems that are related to food. So in this module, we will discuss what is food, what are food resources, what are the categories of food resources, world food problem, causes of world food problem, and solutions to control world food problem. We all know that food is an essential requirement for the sustenance for all the living beings present on earth. Why we need food? Because food is the substance that is consumed to provide nutritional support for the body, such as carbohydrate, protein, fats, vitamins, and minerals. Now, the next thing is that from where we get our food. We all know that food is obtained from plants and animals, and yes, for that we human beings do the practices of agriculture and animal husbandry. Or we can also say that the food we need we get from food resources. So we can say we get food from food resources that are present naturally in the environment. Now let us see what are the different categories of food resources. The first category of food resource is the food resources we get from plants. Most of the food resources has its origin in plants, and yes, some types of food resources is obtained directly from plants, and even some are derived from indirectly because animals are also feed on plants as well. And some examples are there such as wheat, maize, rice, and there are many more. The second category of food resources is all the food resources we get from animals. We all know the examples, all the dairy products such as milk, cheese, honey, so on and so forth. The next category of the food resources we get from minerals. You should be aware of that our body requires inorganic substances like metals and non-metals and salts also. For example, we need phosphorus and we get it from milk and from green vegetables. We need calcium and we get it from milk and from green vegetables as well. So, this is the positive part of food resources. We get food from food resources and stay healthy. But there is a critical issue faced by many countries, and that critical issue is food security. And that food security that leads to world food problem. What is that? Providing food security has become a challenging issue across the world, especially in developing countries like India. Why food security is critical? Because the growth rate of population is more than of food grains produced worldwide. Now let us see in detail what exactly that critical issue is. According to WHO, and that is World Health Organization, and FAO, and that is Food and Agriculture Organization, human daily food consumption should be 2400 to 2500 kilocalories. What happens if we are not consuming that amount of nutrition? Undernutrition that is very visible when a person consumes less than 1800 kilocalories, and yes, while starvation comes when the daily norm drops below the critical mark of 1000 kilocalorie per day. As per the estimates of Food and Agriculture Organization, that is FAO, about 840 million people remain chronically hungry, and out of this 800 million are living in the developing world. Due to inadequate purchasing power to buy food, it is difficult to fulfill minimum calorific requirements of human body per day. Large number of people in India are poor, which can be attributed to equitable distribution of income. And yes, as a consequence, we face food insufficiency, which is undernourishment and malnourishment. And yes, both of these insufficiencies are global food problems. There is a huge negative impact of undernutrition and malnutrition. Lack of food and its poor quality cause a negative impact on people's health, labor force quality, and productivity, and it directly prevents economic growth of the country. That also causes social and political tensions and conflicts both in the regions suffering from food problems and the global world. Though in the last decade it is decreasing at the rate of 2.5 million per year, but at the same time world's population is increasing, and so the problem is the same at global level. As a whole, we can conclude that the global food problem has the following contradictions. It is critical that food production in terms of output, quality, and efficiency is unevenly spread over different world regions. And yes, on the whole, in terms of scale, food production worldwide formally meets the current world's requirement. Food production is lacking in places where food shortages are felt the most because of the ratio between food production and population growth. And we all know that there is no shortage of land worldwide theoretically suitable for food production to feed even between 14 to 33 million people. At the same time, fertile soil is being destroyed in cultivated land and industrial areas. So yes, we all are aware of that the world is facing world food problem and food insecurity. Now let us see what are the primary causes of that big problem. So let us see. The first cause of this problem is population growth. We all know that more food is required to feed the growing population, and it is increasing by over 100 million people per year. As a consequence, we will be facing food problems. The next reason and the cause is geographical conditions. We all know that the crop production is dependent on the geographical conditions such as rainfall, temperature, soil fertility, humidity, so on and so forth. And this is the reason production of crop varies from countries to countries. The next cause is lack of proper irrigation facilities. In many developing countries, agriculture is dependent on rainfall. As a consequence, the agriculture production is affected. Natural disasters like heavy rainfall, earthquakes, droughts also causes damage to the crops. Using old technologies in the agriculture is also a cause for reduced food production. Deforestation, soil erosion, and depletion of nutrients in the soil, that is also causing reduced soil quality, and as a consequence we face low production of crops. Fertilizers and pesticides related problems are also contributing a lot in the same. Some other causes also include waterlogging, salinity problems, so on and so forth. Food waste is also an issue at both ends, production and consumption. Over 1/3 of food produced around the world is lost or wasted, equating to about 1.3 billion tons per year, and that is not at all a small quantity. So now the next question is how we can solve this problem. We have to find out the measures to solve the world food problem. As we discussed that population growth is a problem, so control on population growth can be a solution. Adoption of new advanced technologies for irrigation and agriculture can solve the problem at large. And yes, doing commercial agriculture can be a solution for the problem. And very essential, improving storage for the food items is one of the best and needed solution for this world food problem. Controlling deforestation, soil erosion can also solve the problem in some or the other way. Dear students, we human beings are responsible for food waste in some or the other way. So, controlling food waste can be a measure to solve the world food problem. Dear students, we all are aware of food security and associated problems. So, as a responsible citizen of a country, we should contribute positively to solve this problem at our levels. Thank you for watching the video. We will discuss more of the critical environmental issues in the next module. Thank you.